It is recording.
Oh, that's so awesome. And I have been so excited to do this one because I love meeting new species. And okay, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce what this one is about exactly.
Okay,
Why we
so
have these
a
species.
few weeks ago, we did a group meditation in Stardust, and it was just an experiment to see if it would work. We had people draw symbols for the next crop circle. We would all vote on which symbol we liked the best, and then we would all meditate on it collectively and ask whatever species wanted to create this crop circle for us. And it was supposed to be for like something for fun. I put out the intent, at least make it at least something similar. It doesn't have to be exact.
Hmm.
And all of us in the group pretty much agreed that when a crop circle did pop up, it looked similar in that it had these little triangle and circle type things. I don't know. I'll have to show a picture of it. And it just felt like it was from them. It was their own kind of
There's
simpler
right.
version of it, less,
But there were
less detailed.
definitely similarities to it. Look, I got a little Jesse artwork right here going on. But that was so cool. I mean, I don't remember what words he was using to talk about like inverted star or something like that. But there were some very similar characteristics, and I'm completely sold
I know.
before this interview that it was them. But now we get to really find out about that.
I
That's so
know.
exciting. It feels like true contact. I love it.
Okay, hold on. Let me bring in the species that made the crop circle. Okay, here they are. All right, now I can see them a lot better. I think I
Okay.
was trying to connect with two different species earlier because I was talking about one
Oh.
species. I got confused.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
um,
All right. So what do they look like?
they're tiny, like probably like I don't know, 3 feet tall, maybe a little smaller than that. Um, but they're very skinny, like really, really skinny, look like skin and bones. But I think that's healthy for them. That's what they're supposed to look like, and they're brown skinned. They're like this bronze brown. Um, they have hair too. Not a lot. It's not like long like ours, but there's just hair on the back of their head,
They
like
have big
peach fuzz.
eyes. What are the eyes like?
What do your eyes look like? They're big and round. Maybe a little like slanted, kind of like ours, but they're mostly more round than ours.
Okay.
Um, they look so cute. They're really
Oh,
excited.
really?
Um,
Oh,
they wanted to talk about why they chose to make the crop circle they did. Um,
yes.
so, are you part of a bigger group of extraterrestrials that are? You guys all take turns at making the crop circles, right? Or maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. How about you guys just go? Never mind my asking. Um, they said we wanted to open up a line of communication in a more direct way. He says the crop circles serve uh, more a purpose of establishing contact, knowing that we're here. Our symbols can sometimes send healings and meanings to people
Mm.
who look at them. And for us, we usually just, it kind of feels like they just wing it the day of when it's like their turn to do one. And they said they felt our energy, they felt us putting it out there, and they sort of latched onto it. And they said that they liked it and they were excited about the prospect of engaging in humans in a more direct way.
Oh, so are we.
I know.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna and feel free if you want to just throw anything out there because sometimes I don't know what kinds of questions to ask because it's such a, what's the frame of reference? So I'm gonna start with where you're from.
Where are you from? Okay, whoa, they're showing me a map and okay, you gotta slow down. Sorry, I'm still like with my channeling, especially with my clairvoyance and hearing. You have to go slow with me. They're like, okay, oh, they felt like really bad about it. You know.
Oh, cuties.
Mm, okay, they're showing me a constellation, and I don't know anything about constellations. So I'm going to draw it, and then maybe someone can look it up.
So that was like a loaded question because I wouldn't even know what an answer meant anyway.
They're located in the stars. Are you within our galaxy? Yes.
You know, while you're writing this or drawing this,
Someone can look something up like that.
oh, that's the kite one. Just kidding. I have no idea.
It could be that it's a kite or something. I don't know. I want to look it up right
so
now.
Cool that you saw that. Okay, do that. And while you look that up a little bit, I'm going to mention that on Silver Linings, when I spoke to Minerva and I was asking about the ETs that we come in contact with, Minerva said she's very picky. She wants to make sure that all the guys that come to us are good guys. I don't know if she meant like on personal relationships or like these kinds of interactions. And I don't even know if they would know if we have been friends or if we know each other from a different lifetime or anything. Because, you know, they're all evolved in different ways and have different ways of connecting and knowledge and beliefs and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Do you know that if we are familiar souls to you in any way?
Not that they know of, no. They've never been asked this question before. They said that's an odd question.
It is an odd question. All right, so what is your view of humanity besides the circles and the messages? I mean, what is your interest in us? Do you have an interest in humanity or like protecting the planet in general or both? Or neither?
Not protecting the planet. They said that's always a part of it. It's a given, but not their sole purpose. What do you think about humanity? Okay, the energy I get is really strong. They're talking about how, hold on, can you feed it to me again so I can translate it? Okay, so they think humans are very, they're young, they're still learning, and they understand that. Like they're very, almost like parents, almost watching their teenagers go through like life, and they're going to fall down, but you're going to watch them pick themselves back up, you know? It's like, it feels like that, like a parent watching like a teenager, an older child, grow up. They said they have a special affection towards us, and they like to watch us grow. They said that you're still very young, and we're excited to see where you go. What else? I said that's it.
Where do you, like, those of you that create these crop circles for us, like, where do you live? Or do you have a base on Earth or a ship in the sky, or do you just come visit?
They say for us, we do not have a base on Earth, but we do have a ship in the sky. We are always hovering over there. There's a lot of us that do. We're cloaked, though. You can't see us. Sometimes you may see us in the clouds. We make up the clouds. So I'm thinking it's like, you know, that time when we saw the spacecraft up in the sky, that cloud.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool.
They said they rarely do that. They do that when they want to be seen. If it's for someone specific that they're doing that for.
That's cool.
That's it. That's all they're saying about that question. They're so subtle about their answers. I'm not like, here's the answers.
They're not elaborating. Okay, I'm going to go through some questions, and many of them are similar, so I might paraphrase or skip some because they are so similar. Okay.
I found it.
You found this constellation. You did it.
Oh my God, I saw it. I'm going to have to upload it. It's different, though. Oh my God, this is great. So I saw something that was real.
Yeah, there was validation.
I'm freaking the fuck out.
This is momentous here. Tomorrow she'll be like, I don't know if it was real.
Oh my God, I saw that in my head. Oh, this is great, you guys. This is really great. Awesome. I wish I could show it on my phone.
That's so cool. Make that your
I'll make it the YouTube thumbnail. The thumbnail. Okay.
That's so cool. Or the crop. God, you got so many images, or the crop circle itself. Okay. So why not communicate in a more obvious way, more overt way? A crop circle is cryptic. Why not try something else?
Cryptic as in like not obvious. I guess.
Yeah.
It sounds creepy though, doesn't it?
No, I use that word all the
And it's
time.
in a covert way, like you're being somewhat secretive about it. He
Like it's a
says,
code.
yeah. They're like, we're not being secretive about it.
Well, you're not knocking on our door, putting a transmission through our TV. I guess that's what they mean. Might be subtle.
Um, crop circles are meant to be seen by those who are ready to see it.
Okay.
They said that's a good answer. Part of what Spirit's also answering, not really them, is that this is Spirit answering this one, though.
Who? Do you know?
Just in general.
It's trippy.
The crop circles aren't, they're not, we have to go back here a little bit. Direct contact in the way that like they just land and boom, they're here and all of a sudden you see them, and that's too much for humanity, and they agree. It's more about doing it more subtle, because people who are ready and already open to it are going to find it, and that's what the purpose is to open up the line of communication for those who are willing and ready. They are not here to force their existence onto us, and they're saying yes. So their crop circles aren't covert in any way. They're very out there in the open. They're in the middle of a fucking field. And the newscasts, like, sometimes they cover them, but they're not covert in any way. It's just that nobody gives a shit because most of humanity isn't ready for them. That's why there's not more coverage on them. They're in the middle of a fucking field. Huge. That's hard to ignore.
That's a really good way to... I talk about these things I have called common sense epiphanies, and that makes so much sense the way you described it. It's like we ought to know better, and I'm not knocking the person that asked that question, because it is an overt way to communicate. That truly is a big, huge, giant circle that's all over the internet. That is not sneaky at all, but I guess it's just unclear what the message is, but we don't...
The message, they said in our instance, the message was to answer back to you and say, we want to play along.
God, I love that.
Each crop circle, not ours, but sometimes others don't have a direct message at all. It's just the crop circle itself and whatever you feel from it, which is what we've channeled earlier about crop circles.
Okay. Is there any significance about where you place them, or is it just because it's convenient that day and there's enough room?
It's convenient that day.
Okay.
For us, it's very last minute decision where we're going to place it. We don't give much thought to it.
Okay, and is there any kind of like residual radiation or anything like that might, or maybe even just an energy that animals might pick up or anything? I don't know.
Not that we know of. If you're sensitive, everything has energy. So if you're sensitive to energy, you may have felt that we were there, but that's a lasting effect. Our technology won't leave a lasting effect. Our presence itself will, but the technology will not. We do not use radiation because that would harm the plant. And we're not here to make your food dangerous for you to consume.
Okay. And somebody, and I don't know enough about it, so I'm just deferring to these questions and assuming that somebody's heard something somewhere. But another question is that crop circles make our electric equipment fail and act strangely. I don't even know if that's true. Have you heard anything like that, Heather?
No, I have not, but I'm not going to say it's not true just because I didn't experience it. I've never been to a crop circle. Do
you know if your equipment will make our equipment go hinky and haywire or anything?
It may if we're still nearby. Okay. But it's not really the crop circle itself, it's us and our technology interfering with yours.
Okay. Okay, so Jason, I'm sorry, I'm just going to skip that one. We talked about anatomy a little bit.
They don't mind talking about their anatomy. I mean, you
Jason
can just
wants to know what your bits look like, your sex parts.
Your sexual reproductive organs, if you have any. So that's a nice scientific way of putting it.
Your bits.
Let me see. They don't have bits.
Huh.
Okay. So how do you procreate? This is too much for me. They said we do so through energy. I don't know what that means. And this is... I mean, I've heard about this, but I've never really... Okay. So how does that work? That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Do you have physical sex to do this? No. although we do like to engage in other forms of sexual contact that do not involve the reproductive organs.
Oh.
Touching, we send
Mm.
energy to loved ones that are sexual in nature. We were not compatible to humans in this way. So he said, we could never mate with you.
I know where some of us are going with this.
You don't have enough energy to produce a child with us. Energy is
God,
not,
that's trippy.
yeah, a higher frequency enough? Or no, it has nothing to do with higher frequencies. Has everything to do on where you put your energy and place it. It takes a lot out of you, and it takes days to produce a child this way. And we only do so when necessary. So it's kind of like a population control thing, right? We have many people, as many children as we need.
Do you still have genders, or have you just like morphed out of that?
No, we don't have gender. We
Who
don't
did
have
we talk to?
pets.
We just talked to somebody else that was like that too. I don't remember who that was.
I don't know. This is interesting, though. I've heard about species like this. The only other species I know that don't have like really parts are like, like Arcturians or like Greys. And I know the Arcturians do the same thing where they use energy to create more life, I believe. Are you, I guess you would say you're at an Arcturian level? Like people say like they're at a higher, like, and they're in a different dimension. They said we are in a different dimension. Physically? No. So, like, if you were to physically land, we could see you. He says, yes, you could see us. But our energy is much higher. We vibrate much higher, I guess. I don't know.
I'm having like
I think
I'm trying.
there's a lot we don't understand about dimensions and stuff,
I was
too.
just gonna say I'm having like issues with the definition of dimension, and I wondered if they had any input because I think that's one of the things we're gonna untangle is
Right.
that
What can advice or knowledge can you give us about the truth about dimensions and different species who may be at a higher frequency, I guess, or their energy may be higher? Do they physically go somewhere else to another dimension? No. That's a,
and is there like a cutoff line, like a ladder and a step? This is number one, number two, number three, or does it
yeah.
kind of like blend in more?
This is, it kind of blends in more. When you reach a certain level, they're going to say, we'll call it a level,
Okay.
it almost becomes impossible to go back down further. The
Hmm.
higher up you get up, the easier it is to stay higher up and the harder it is to go back down.
Okay.
It's, They said that we don't understand your question about dimensions. Well,
It's
okay,
okay. We barely understand it ourselves.
so they're saying you first need to define what it means to you.
Well,
In the spiritual community, I would say they use the word dimension a different way than the science community does. In the spiritual community, when somebody, say there's a species, we'll just say the Arcturians, they say they're in like the ninth dimension or something like that. And they're physically in that other dimension. And their energy is too. They're so advanced, both like emotionally, spiritually, mentally. They're just so much far higher than us and they vibrate at such a high frequency. They're saying you have it all wrong.
here comes the new information we've been waiting for.
They're saying that we're not physically in another dimension. We're in the same physical dimension.
Right.
However, our thought process and where our energy lies may be at a higher dimension. I don't like using
Is it dimension or can we say frequency? Does that sound
If
better?
that's frequency sounds way better. They're saying
Doesn't
that
it?
it can cause us to not be seen by you because it's too much for you because you're so lower. It's dense, I guess, denser. It requires all your energy to be able to perceive us. It could be because, I would like to say also that it could be because, this is me saying this part, that what you're seeing is just so out of your norm that you just can't
I know what you're saying.
perceive
Yeah,
it.
like when the boats came over from Europe and the
And yeah,
natives didn't know what it was. That
yeah, and they
stuff.
thought it was clouds and not sailboats.
It was just it cloaked.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And they're saying, now what they're saying is that they went quiet, so I lost what they were saying. Okay. Well, do you have a question?
Um, Are you familiar with our Stardust group? What do you know about it? What do you think about
Yes,
it?
we familiarized ourselves with your group once you started to do the meditation.
Okay.
We like what you do and we find it important.
Aw, thank you. Are we like, oh, because I feel like, I know it's important work and stuff and it's serious, but it's also so fun. Do we seem like childlike to you or does it seem,
Yes, and that's
yeah.
why we're so drawn towards you, because you have a childlike wonder to your approach. Instead of something very serious, like we are here to give you a message. Here is the message for all humanity. He's saying there's more of a playfulness to your approach, and it makes it a lot more fun for us, for those involved.
So you have fun then. You like to have fun. What do you do
Yes.
for fun?
What do you guys do for fun? We play games. We prefer like strategy games. I feel like they have like telekinesis powers because they're showing me an image of them moving things.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like it reminds me of Harry Potter when they're playing that chess game
Uh-huh.
and they're
Uh-huh.
able to move things. Kind of like that, but it's not like chess. It's their own little game where they move things and it involves a lot of strategy.
Okay, I'm going to peek at this question. I don't mean to be rude. Let's
It's
see.
okay. I really want you guys to dive in more on what dimensions are, though. They said
Yeah,
perhaps
if you have any more to offer on that, because I do believe that that is something that we are really wanting to investigate as
they said
humans.
perhaps it is not the time, since you're not understanding the basics of what a dimension is. Well, how about you start there? What is a dimension to you guys?
What's the basics?
They're saying we don't know where to start because we don't know what exactly it is you're asking, because we don't know the human construct for what a dimension is.
Maybe we can ask ask it in a way and what qualifies somebody to elevate and rise in frequency or elevation? How
Their energy does. And how do they go about changing that energy to elevate higher? They're saying, hold on. They're saying, since you're part of a collective, it's not just about you and where you're going. The higher up you go, the higher up everyone else around you will go. So the more that humans become more evolved, it'll slowly happen. The more the
Okay.
others will feel drawn to go towards. The way they're explaining it, it's like a wave. Like there's no
That's
wave that
true.
goes against it. They all kind of like follow each other. And
Okay.
it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. The more and more people get involved, the wave gets bigger. And you're all being pulled in one direction. And they said right now it feels like you're scattered, but you're actually way more aligned as a species than you think, because all you're focused on is how separate you guys are. So part of becoming involved as a species is the first basic thing is becoming more one with each other, working together. And you guys are working on that slowly. And things are going to be happening to your species over time that's going to pull you towards that direction of working together more.
Okay.
They said one of the greatest things to get a species to work together is a common enemy. The enemy
That's
of
the
my
truth.
the
The
enemy.
rivalry at the game. Yep.
Yep. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. They said that's one way. There's many other different ways. There's a lot more peaceful ways of going about it. But it's all up to where you manifest it. They're saying where you think it's going to go. So all of you as a collective are manifesting. They're saying we would say not so peaceful ways of change. But that doesn't mean you're not going to lead to peace. It just means you're going towards peace in a rough way. I'm doing a video. Okay, sorry. Anyway, I lost track of what I was doing. That was my boyfriend. A boyfriend is somebody. That's weird. They're asking what a boyfriend is.
That she gives romantic energy to.
I give romantic energy to him exclusively. I said, oh, okay. Yes, he lives with me. We have that too. We have partners that we stay with. That we have children with. Anyway, what were they saying? Okay, so they're saying that you'll get there in a more peaceful way eventually. You'll attempt the peace, but it sometimes gets a little rough on your way over there. So there was one time that I asked Sam about this. Sam says you will ascend. Some of you will go in kicking and screaming, but you guys will end up there. So that's pretty much what they're saying. We're all going to evolve as a species, but some of us are going to go in kicking and screaming.
Okay. In which ways, God, I don't think I asked this. In which ways do you help us? Because I know we met the little cuties not too long ago, and they help deflect the worst of the solar flares.
We don't
What do you
become
do?
too involved with humanity only because we're not meant to. We're only meant to engage with other species who are becoming involved with humanity. So there's some species whose job it is to become directly involved, whereas some of us, our job is to observe and to help and see all angles. By observing, we're able to better dictate and give advice on how those who are directly involved with humanity, how they can best help you next. Because we're not directly involved, we're not becoming emotionally part of your life.
Okay.
And therefore, we can see from an observer's point of view, an objective point of view, how to best help you.
Okay. And how long have you been observing us? Have you been here since
Thousands
before
of
humanity existed?
No, we had no need to come here before.
Great.
They said, we've been observing you for thousands of years. Since you started to develop your wheel, we would just observe you. We didn't actually have anyone have direct contact with you even during that time because there was no need. You were still in the very beginning stages. But we like to study the growth patterns of a species. It helps us to make our job easier, our jobs better for other species that we come across.
Okay. And do you do this for other planets too? Like the middleman?
They're saying who are also evolving still to a certain stage? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We even help species that you consider advanced. For instance, we help Palladians still. They're still evolving, and we help them as well.
Oh, okay. So that kind of gives me a frame of reference that you're way up there.
Yes,
you
we are.
growed.
In a human sense, yes, we are. But in the grand scheme of things, we really are not above you or below you. We're all at the same level.
Right. I'm glad you said that because we are talking about dimensions, and I'm really trying to knock out the hierarchy of things. You know, I know that everybody has a different place of learning or whatever, but I don't know. It's hard to define that without creating that kind of level, so to speak. But yeah, we're all equal, just in a different place. And for all we know, I could be one of you in another incarnation. So I'm both. Ting. What's your views on like afterlife and
It exists.
Spirit?
They're saying it exists.
Are you very connected to your soul self, or do you not even pay attention?
They're asking what a soul self is. It's like the higher self or the oversoul. Do you know what that means? Okay, they said yes. Are you connected to that being? Why would we need to be if we are that being? If that is us. So they're not understanding why you would have to feel connected to something that you already are.
Because I guess as humans, we feel separate from that. And I'm only just barely beginning to integrate and understand that I am not separate from Fairy Girl. Intellectually, I get it, but I don't feel it.
It's part of the progress, they're saying.
Okay. Anything that you want to share with us that might help us to evolve, learn, and grow? Just
to love each other and be patient with yourselves. Be patient with your others of your kind. Have forward thinking, but don't rush or push others to meet your expectations. And they're specifically talking about to meet your level. It can be frustrating, I know, when you're involved with the species, to get frustrated when they're not as evolved as you deemed yourself to be. And they're saying we have that problem. We hear that problem a lot with the species who work with you directly. It's not really a complaint. It's just an observation, and it can become frustrating when you're not listening to their suggestions. And so we're here to remind you to be patient with others of your kind, because you're all learning and growing. You may be at different paces. I'm not going to call it levels, different paces, but you're still growing. At one point, you started at the same level as a friend. You do not put them down or force them to push them forward, because that's not how growth happens. Growth doesn't happen through force.
Okay. That is good advice. We do get frustrated with that. It's like, it's so obvious, see it. And we can't put our expectations on other people.
And they said, we are physically here. You could touch us if we were to come to you. I guess in that aspect, from your understanding of dimensions, then yes, we're in the same dimension as you, but our energy vibrates much higher, which is
Okay.
something separate. It's something different.
Huh. Can you come on our planet? Would you be able
Yes.
to without like spacesuits and stuff?
Yes.
Huh.
Is it because you
Why?
can breathe our oxygen? No. Could you? Yes. I don't know. They're being
I know
confusing.
that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know because the Sarsar, they're not as they don't have their same lungs that we do or whatever.
Your energy plays a part into the physical body. You're still thinking of them as separate until you can integrate them as one being of one sound body, both the energy body and the physical body. Things will become much easier for you to understand when it comes to the different dimensions.
That's a new concept. I'm gonna have to ask that one again of somebody else.
Yeah.
Get another perspective. Integrate. What did you say? Energy and physicality? Is that what
Yeah,
you said?
energy,
Okay.
like integrate how they're both the same thing. They're not separate of each other. The energy, the energetic body, I guess, your energy and the physical are
Okay.
not separate. They're the
Uh
same.
huh. Okay. All right. And will you tell us who that race, the species is that you are helping that help us? Is that a secret?
All of them. All
Oh,
the ones that have
okay.
contact with you, the ones that are benevolent and having contact with you. Those that are not and wish you ill will, which we don't like to talk about because there's so few of them, you don't have to worry about them. Plus, you're protected as long as you choose to be protected.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're aware of how safe you are, then you will be. I liked
Get it.
that. I like
I
that. As
like
long
that
as you're
too.
aware of how safe you are, you will be. No, because some people believe that there's evil entities that can come at you even if you open up to channeling or anything like that. They said that's nonsense. That's nonsense.
Yeah, you and I are so on board with you. You know, you create through your thoughts and focus. So if you
You
know
do.
you're safe, you're safe. The end.
They're saying all things are made up of energy, including your thoughts. If your thoughts are open to the idea, then it will happen to you.
Yeah, because you're focusing on that fear, and the universe will bring you what you're focusing on.
The universe is its own entity if you think about it, and it'll bring you what you want. Even if it's something that deep down you don't want, but you're manifesting it. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, I get that. You focus on it,
The universe
even if
gives you
I'm not.
gifts if you're only willing to be accepting of them. If you're willing to accept the gifts, they'll give it to you. They think of the universe as like an entity itself. It's really
That's
interesting.
interesting, huh? Maybe they just mean that's their version of God. I guess so.
No, God is different. We do not believe in the same concept
Oh.
of God. God is not a thing. It is just,
Well, is the universe a thing? Because I'm using these
yes,
like synonymously then. For
the universe is a thing. The God source, as you would call it in your community, is
uh-huh,
not a thing. It is just pure
an
energy.
idea.
Yes.
Okay, well, see, okay, that's just semantics then
Well, they're saying not even
for
pure.
me.
It's just like it's just an existent thing. They don't have like a gender to it. It's not an object. It's nothing.
Right.
But they still
It's the
believe in it.
universe.
Right. They just believe in its concept, but it's not a person, place, or thing.
Okay.
It's really interesting. And they're saying thank you for the opportunity for engaging with you in a more direct manner. We've never done this. Well, we have before with individuals who want to seek out communication. But what
How
would
would how would one go ahead.
what is the name of your species? Do you have a name? We do. We have many names. Oof, I hope I can get these.
Are there any
We,
that we know?
are there any that we know? They say possibly. The, let me look that up. I want to see. I don't want to make an ass of myself on a live thing. Is that really a thing?
It's a thing. What is it?
Oh my god!
Did you have a 2-channel day today?
The Inu. That's what they said. They said you might know us by Inu.
Inu?
I don't know. I think that's something from a movie, though. I don't watch sci-fi, though, so. Inu ET. Sorry, guys. I'm just looking this up because I don't want to make an ass of myself.
Well, just because, The internet doesn't know everything. They might be the Inu, but the internet doesn't know yet.
Yeah, I looked up Inu and it's something.
All right, well, I'm going to go somewhere else. I want to know about your home planet, what it's like. Is it, because Earth is so beautiful with so many species and terrains. What's yours like? Have you been there in a while?
Okay. Have you been there? We're always there. We go back home a lot. Not all of us, just there's a group of us that still live on the planet. Just some of us that are assigned to observe Earth are floating above your planet. And we do go home from time to time, but in shifts. So there's always someone there watching the planet. They're talking about how they catalog everything you guys do. Historical events. Sorry, everything we do, sorry.
Right.
That's what they're going into. They're not really talking about their planet. What does your planet look like? Can you show me images instead of explaining? Okay, I'm seeing it kind of reminds me of the Amazon jungle.
Okay.
The big leaves, lots of trees, lots of leafy. The dirt's super soft.
Beautiful.
Like a reddish brown. Not all areas are reddish brown, but that's just
the one you're seeing.
Yeah.
What's your lifespan?
Jesus Christ. Well, it's like about 8,000 years or so, something, give or take.
Wow.
We live for a long time.
We're like little butterflies to them then. Wow.
They're saying that our energy sustains us.
Okay.
Sustains our bodies longer.
Do you eat food or do you just live off energy?
We do eat food. Very few food, though. We don't eat a lot. The more a species evolves, the less they eat. Because the less their body needs, because the more the energy can fulfill the body. But we still do need to eat. All species do. Okay.
And how big is is the ship that you're living on right now? Is it?
It's pretty large. It's large. There's a few thousand of us on it.
Wow, that's so trippy. I want to come to your ship. I'm going to try to manifest a visit. See if you guys can pick me up and take me for a little ride.
So there is a thing on Inu, but it's on a fandom page. So I'm thinking it's like a made-up thing, and they're saying something about Star Wars. So maybe it's a made-up species in Star Wars. But it could be that maybe whoever wrote Star Wars, I forget who did, George Lucas, right?
George Lucas.
Maybe he was channeling something. I don't know.
I'm convinced that many of those sci-fi things are channeled, and they just don't even know it.
Especially Star Trek, yeah.
Isn't that cool? Have you ever appeared in an episode of one of our human shows?
They're saying no. But they're saying that was just one of the names that we've called them in the past.
Okay.
We've been mixed up with other species, too. Some of us, you just lump us all together. Some of us, you would call us the Watchers because we watch over you, but it's not. Okay. But what's funny is the Sarsar are also called the Watchers, too. That's funny. They say sometimes you lump us all together.
Do you communicate with the Sarsar?
Sometimes when we need to engage with them.
Do you do that energetically, or have you been in the same room together physically? Just curious.
Both energetically and physically. He said again, but it's the same thing. It's not separate.
Okay. Yeah. See, it's still separate to our brains. Huh.
He said that's okay, but we'll talk to you like it is. We'll regard it like it is.
Okay. Huh. All right. So on your ship, when you have those few thousand, is it just like a community? Like you have your families and your kids and your entertainment? That's trippy. That's cool.
We have families. We're more one than anything, so everyone's your family. But we do have intimate pockets. That's what they called them.
Okay.
There's anything... excuse me. Is there anything else you'd like to add? No? They're saying we want to thank you for your time. And... they're saying we'll let your human boyfriend come back in.
I want to thank you for your time, and I cannot tell you, I'm going to speak for our entire group of Stardust about how awesome it was that you chose to communicate with that crop circle, that you listened to us. You really made us feel like like we matter and we made a difference and it felt fun and significant. So thank you for such an awesome gift that you gave us. Thank you.
I'm saying you're welcome. God, that's so, I'm just stuck on Inu. I'm just stuck on that because, like, you know, I looked it up and it's a thing, but it's part of Star Wars universe or something. So now I'm like, did I make that up? But I don't watch Star Wars or read the books. Is there books?
I know, you said you don't know Star Wars.
So I'm not into sci-fi. I think I just can't, I have no fucking interest, you know? Like, I live the life already. I don't need to watch a movie about it, you know? And then
like seeing other people's interpretations of other stuff.
Yeah, I just don't really care for it. What are some other names? There's something that starts with an I. I'm not good at picking up on names, so this is like a ET species that starts with an I. I'm Googling right now. I bet some people are like, well, if she's a real medium, she shouldn't have to blah, blah, blah. Look it up. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck off.
I know.
I'm like, whatever. I can't hear names. I translate energy into words. That means I don't hear the fucking names. That's how I channel.
Yeah, I always ask H, how she receives information, and I don't understand. I mean, you've told me 10,000 times, and it's just something that I will have to experience. How you can feel energy and translate it into a meaning. That's weird to me. That's cool.
I feel it in my heart and in my core, so I have to make sure I'm like really clear and I don't have like any like emotional junk I'm going through. And then even if I am going through some shit, I have to be able to identify it so that when I'm communicating, I know what is mine and what's theirs. And that's pretty simple once you get to practice with that. But it's like an emotion you're feeling, but it is weird to explain. And then you translate it. You try to find the right words. That's how I channel. Sometimes I'll hear a word like Inu, which is weird. But yeah, that's why I have to when I'm feeling like it's an I. It's the energy of what an I is. I don't know how to explain that.
Oh, that's so weird.
Everyone channels differently, but everyone regards clairaudient mediums, ones who can hear word for word, like they're the best and the highest and, 100% right, accurate all the fucking time. And then the rest of us are just shit on the sidewalk, just because we can't.
I don't think that's the truth because I just don't understand one from another. So there might be a bunch of ignorant people like me that think it's all just fine. I don't judge that kind. I don't know one from another. I don't even know what evidential medium means. I don't even know what any of that stuff means.
It's just a really clairaudient medium.
Oh.
Yeah. And so they're able to give you evidence of everything. They're saying this is the inside joke you guys used to say and stuff like that. They can give you stuff like that. I can't do that because I translate energy. So it's what's the energy of the inside joke? How do you translate the energy of an inside joke? That's hard to do. But I know there was one.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how I do it. Anyway.
All right, space people.
They're saying thank you again.
Thank you again. I'm going to set them free.
All right.
All right. I'm going to look for your artwork out in the fields.
It says they don't make them very often. Yeah. I like that they explain that. That's also something I want to touch on, that they said that they observe us and then they tell the other species to have more direct contact. So some people who are not understanding why the Sarsar are in touch with their government or why other species are is because that was the position given to them by the council or whatever it is that they're part of. Each species has their own job that they do. And it's kind of funny that some people regard the Sarsar as evil because they're in contact with their government.
So funny.
But they're in contact with other governments as well around Earth. Each species has a government they're assigned to for those who are meant to, that's their job is to come in contact with that. Some of them, their job is to do something else entirely.
Right.
So it's why are you thinking they're evil? They're just doing their fucking job. They're part of the bigger whole collective.
And then weren't they where they're at before America grew around them?
Yeah.
Clearly they ought to work with the American government because they're living in what we now call America. So
yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. So
And they're evil. Just kidding.
Well, now they're evil. I know. Because I think it's just because people don't trust the United States government. So they think anyone affiliated with them are bad. And so that's really just your judgment on the United
Just
States.
a blanket statement. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't have those.
Anyway, but yeah, that's the Sarsa are involved, and so are other species are involved with governance because that's their job to do it for the collective. You know, each species that's helping us has a job that they do in order to help us, and it's all part of the grand plan.
That's right.
And it's the grand plan is to not get directly involved. It's to help guide us in indirect ways because it's ultimately up to us to grow. It's not their job to
Right.
dictate how we should grow, you know. And so they're just here to watch and help because we too are part of the collective. So it's not just about them. People are like, "Why are you helping us?" And it makes us feel special, but we're really not that special. They would do this for any other species that's growing too, you know.
It is hard to put us in the perspective of us. We are all one.
Yeah.
All of us.
Right.
It is.
We're all part of the collective. That's why they're helping us, not because they think we're like the chosen ones.
We need the most help. Just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, or we need the most help. It's like, no, we're just evolving. It sucks. It hurts, but you know, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Thanks for helping us, ETs.
All right.
All right. Do you have anything that you want to say?
Nope, that's it.
I don't think I do either. Boy, we're always chit-chatting about nonsense. Not today. Strictly business. Crop
That's right.
circles, the end.
That's right.
All right, baby, you're going to go to your party, and you're so beautiful today. You go shake your money maker.
All right. Oh, wait,
Right.
there was one more thing.
What?
Okay, yeah, you can come in then. It's over, pretty much. This is Josh. This is my human boyfriend.
I gotta get loaded in 15 minutes.
Hi, human.
Well, I'll just say it in the group then. We'll just end it now. All right.
Okay. All right. I love you. I'll talk
love
to you
you too.
later.
Bye.
Bye, baby.